And
Yeah, we can hear him in Discord.
Oh. Okay.
I'll give you this one time.
This is the voice of the Mr. Ons. Can you hear us? Can you hear the mad people?
Can you hear
Hello,
the
lovely
Hobbit?
stream.
Hi, stream.
Hi, stream.
J Cross, hello. You're beautiful, and I hope you're having a great day.
You're a Capitan! Bonne nuit, Capitan. Which I probably said wrong. I'm not good at French.
It's pretty good.
Well, I can sing a nursery rhyme in Japanese. That's because my sister speaks it.
Members actually get to pick, but Captain J Cross is my favorite because their username is in my favorite color.
Pink! It's my... Look! Pink, pink, pink! It's my favorite too.
Especially like that kind of fuchsia pink.
Yeah. I like cerise. I used to have cerise hair. It was amazing.
Very nice.
Yes!
It is a good color.
Cerise and like turquoise are like the best combination. So
Yes,
pretty.
absolutely. Those are my, yes, I agree entirely. And you have good taste. The end.
Thank you. Thank
There you have it. The judges have spoken.
Mm.
Has anybody else chosen a deity?
I think Moon has pretty much just like given up all faith in gods and people.
Fine.
So he probably worshipped the cat lord for the tabaxi, but in a kind of folkloric, like they just exist, not in a kind of deity way. More like you know, ancestral worship, like the Japanese, where they're just there, but they're not specifically like they don't
Believe
worship
that
them.
they're there.
Right.
Yeah, they're just there. They're just there. Obviously, they have power and they're just around.
Exist. I
But
just
they don't specifically
don't
like, go to
worship
church.
you.
Yeah. So, but Moon has pretty much just given up on
Makes
faith
sense.
and people and life in general.
Oh well,
He's
we have
so
a paladin.
uplifting.
We have a paladin available for redemption purposes. Then.
Oh, true.
Oh god.
Oogs, are you ready to?
Hi, Sean.
Plus, Moon is dealing with the whole warlocked pack thing. He's just like,
Really excited that you're playing a tabaxi, by the way.
I'm so
I don't know if you're
happy.
looking at the stream chat.
Yeah, I'm watching chat on my phone now.
Ah, yes. Okay, I can see it now. Oh, yeah, tabaxi. They're so cute, and he's so fluffy. So fluffy.
We got a tabaxi. I'm a tiefling.
Tieflings are awesome. Tieflings are so cool. Yeah. Tabaxi Warlock. I like weird
I think that's our
combinations.
god.
Okay. Hang on.
Is that the voice of God?
I think that's God.
I
And
think.
God also plays a
Wanna
tabaxi.
celebrate?
Yes. Okay. Can the stream hear me now? It looks like the stream can hear me now.
Ooh.
Oh,
They
thank
said
God.
yes!
Fantastic.
Ugh.
Look at
Tiefling
you.
pride. What?
Oh my god, it sounds perfect.
Oh, does it sound good now?
Yes, and it sounds good.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so we also solved our technical issue from earlier. By me screwing with it and making it worse for a minute, we've made it better in the long run.
See that? It's new session 0 stuff, brother. We're good. You're good.
Oy, okay. Everyone just take a moment. Take a moment. All right. So,
Experience points for that?
Is that a milestone?
Quaff my beverage.
I get experience points. I just leveled up
You're
in
level 2 DM.
well, not DM, just streamer. right?
Level 2
I'm
streamer.
actually multi-class.
You're multi-class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a technomagic.
Technomancer.
Yes. Okay.
Level up.
So, as I was saying before, and I don't know how much of that actually got heard, there is, in this world, within the gigantic empire that you guys exist in, there is no one specific deity. There, in fact, is no specific pantheon. Everything is accepted within the empire as long as fealty to the empire is first in your hearts and on your tongues. Does that make sense? Now, as far as their ability to enforce that requirement, that gets a little bit dodgier, right? So, generally speaking, most people just operate on their own as they prefer. The empire is too big to be effectively policed in that way. So it's more like if a particular official of the empire happens to roll through whatever tiny village you hail from, then you pay lip service to what they ask for at the time, and when they leave, you go back to your life as normal. Does that make sense?
I like it.
There are, of course, people who, try to follow the law as it is written at all times. But frankly, most farmers and other villagers and regular folk, right, don't really care. They're a part of the empire primarily because it affords them some level of security and financial surety, but it is not necessarily their, emphatic way of life or reason for being, okay?
Just kind of live there. They didn't choose to live there.
Right. The empire is so big and so unmanageable that it creates basically, in some ways, it almost might as well not exist. It's sort of as if, imagine if the entire planet, or let's say half the planet. No, let's imagine that the entire planet of Earth were all united under the United Nations, but within that bound, all of the different nations still maintain some minor level of autonomy, but that the United...
So kind of like a more optimistic version of the British Empire.
Yeah. Well, optimistic
Sorry,
depending on your point of view, right? I mean, colonialism is fine and dandy depending on which side of the flag and sword point you're on. Do you have a flag?
A less embarrassing version.
Yeah, well...
We have a flag! Do you have a flag? This is
Do we
our
have a flag?
Yes.
I have an oak tree.
Well, I have a flag, so it's mine now. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I always appreciate an Eddie Izzard moment. So, as far as deity is concerned, if there is a deity that you think particularly works for you, go for it. If you can't think of one that particularly works for you, or if you just want to leave your faith open to the winds and maybe you'll come up with something later, that's fine too, okay? A little bit of Candide, like this is the most perfect version of this world, etc. So it's kind of, it works however you want it to for that specific purpose. So, that being said, the paladin has a god, the cleric has a god. The cleric is a kobold cleric of Tiamat, which I'm trying to find a space to mention that specific fact.
Is that a big dragon?
Yes.
I have vague
I
recollections.
hate Tiamat.
Only because you're in a different
romantic version.
Yes.
I'm talking to someone off screen. You guys can't see, but the user in Twitch chat, Portia Vera, is my wife.
That's
She's
God.
over here, and yes,
That's
it is,
God.
It is. Well,
Oh God.
It is
Hi,
a
God!
And now they're all saying hi to God.
Hi.
And now she's saying hi. And
Ooh, I'm
Some
home.
IRL
now
God.
we're on a 5-second version of telephone. Let's get back to it. So, the real meat and potatoes of what I really want to make sure we get to before we get too far past is I want to get to personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws. Okay. So this section is probably my favorite section, and what we're going to do is we're going to roll these sections at random. Okay.
Nice.
So your personality is going to maybe end up being a little bit scattered. If you absolutely hate what comes out, of course we will change it. I'm not going to stick you with something that you totally hate. But if you start on page 127, you'll see the beginning of backgrounds. And so in the player handbook, page 127, the very first background is Acolyte. Then we get Charlatan, Criminal.
That's me! I wanted to do Charlatan.
Okay, Charlatan. All right, we'll talk our way through that here in a sec then. Entertainer, Folk Hero, Guild Artisan, Hermit, Noble, Outlander, Sage.
I grabbed Outlander.
Okay, cool. Sailor, Soldier, Urchin.
Hello, sailor.
And Urchin. So I'll start with the two of you guys who seem to have an idea of where you're going. We'll start with Shakespeare for the Charlatan background. So on your character sheet, type in your background.
I think I've done that.
And then here's what we're going to do. We're going to use some Roll20 rolling. And so what I want you to do is first let's figure out your favorite scam. Okay?
Okay. How do I do rolling?
So
Never use this.
what you do in Roll20 in the chat box is you're going to type //roll
Mm-hmm.
and then 1d6.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Okay, didn't like me.
So /roll has no space in between. So /roll space 1d6.
Oh, okay. Right. I get
Cool.
a 2.
So
That's
your
a good
favorite
first roll.
your favorite scam is I shave coins or forge documents.
Oh,
Hey,
nice.
that's the one I'd written down.
Nice. Under feature. So feature, remember features go in the features and traits section.
Yep.
So you will want to mark down your false identity. You get to pick, in general, what that false identity is.
Okay.
That's cool.
And then suggested characteristics. Charlatans are colorful characters who conceal their true selves behind the masks they construct. They reflect what people want to see, what they want to believe, and how they see the world. But their true selves are sometimes plagued by an uneasy conscience, an old enemy, or deep-seated trust issues. Now, if you absolutely decide that you do not want these things to be public, they don't have to be public. You can just say pass, and we can do these things off stream. However, I do think it's more fun if everyone kind of knows ahead of time, and we can all kind of bounce off each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
I put the false identity into the features, and I just write out
yeah, we'll
the second identity there.
Yeah, and we'll add those details later, unless you already have them. But for now,
No.
okay, good. For now, we're going to go to
that being background.
personality trait. So you're going to go back up to the top of your character sheet.
Okay. Right. Yep.
And you're going to give me... You have to be kidding me. You're going to roll a 1d8.
Okay.
So /roll space 1d8.
D8. Another 2.
All right. So, your
That's
personality trait. I have a joke for every occasion, especially occasions where humor is inappropriate.
Perfect.
Yes, Mom.
Does that work for you, or does that absolutely not work for you?
That really doesn't. He is a grumpy motherfucker.
Okay, so if that 100% doesn't work for you, I'll let you roll again, and if you get another 2, just ignore it, and we'll
Okay.
move on.
Could also be a very dry sense of humor where maybe you make like dark jokes, very morbid.
Yeah, jokes don't necessarily have to be like,
Yeah,
Waka, waka,
gallows humor
waka.
could work.
but
Yeah.
If Gallows...
Gallows humor could work, yeah.
Okay, well then let's
Okay,
stick with our roll.
I'll keep the 2.
In the spirit
keep
of...
When,
All right.
you talk about
So, yeah, I have a joke for every occasion, especially occasions where humor is inappropriate.
I don't remember, unfortunately.
See, like that almost actually makes me think that it would be more.
Yeah,
Dark
if he
humor.
ever attempts to make a joke, it will guaranteed be inappropriate.
That works. That works just fine. And honestly,
Okay,
if it's
so
a character who has to explain, like, that was a joke, that works just fine.
That's
Yep,
the joke.
yep.
Yes. I, of course, would never actually kill you and eat you and murder your family and friends.
That would never happen.
Yep, that's pretty much the kind of shit he'd say.
Yeah, that totally works. So now we're going to go to Ideal. So Ideal,
Okay.
Bond, and Flaw, these are sort of role-playing guide stones, okay?
Okay.
What I really like about these, and this is primarily a 5th ed sort of thing, I don't recall this being in prior editions, but what it does is it sort of helps you to know what to do
Love you, bye.
with your character in circumstances that aren't just punching something in the nose. So what I really... one of the things that I try to stress, particularly with new players, although I imagine you guys won't need too much help,
I really don't need it.
I'm asking you to write down what it was.
Call her back
Oh, okay.
without me in the room.
Oh, well, that's easy.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
The
Thank
voice
you,
of God
I'm
commands it.
yes.
The
And
voice of God!
the voice of God is also going to be kicked
Happy
out of
wife,
the
happy life.
office in upcoming Mondays. Oh yeah. So, see, all my players are making funny faces now. Personality trait. We rolled Ideal. So give me a 1d6. So as I was saying while you're working on the roll is that I really like to stress with new players that you think about what your character would do on a Tuesday night if they didn't have anything else to do.
It's not a 2!
Aspiration. I'm determined to make something of myself.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. He's got a lot of questions he wants answered about himself,
Okay.
and he's fucked up a lot. So he definitely wants to climb out of the hole he's in.
Yeah, I think that.
So I can see that aspiration.
Yeah, I think that totally works.
That works. Okay.
Now under
Okay.
Bond,
Mhm.
I believe you
James
already had one kind of figured out in general.
Let me just see. Yeah, he has a thing that happened to him. I'm guessing that's.
Yeah, you
That
don't
would
you don't
work as a Bond?
necessarily have to share, but does one of those numbers
I'm
that's
trying to
already
be
there
vague.
work for you?
Let's see. Sort of. Cut for
Okay.
6 could probably work if I change the verbs a bit.
Okay, go ahead and do that and write that on your sheet.
Okay. Okay.
But before we go too much further, because I want to start moving on, let's get to your flaw.
Mhm.
So give me a
Mention where it's 6.
1d6 roll.
Okay. This is. Okay. Okay. 4.
4. I'm too
That's
greedy
4.
for my own good. I can't resist taking a risk if there's money involved.
Oh no, he doesn't care about money at all.
Okay. So
And that's a tabaxi thing. That's not just
yeah,
me.
that's fine. So give it another
Yeah.
roll.
Okay. All right. 6. 5.
I can't resist swindling people who are more powerful than me.
Nice. Almost like Robin Hood.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. Yeah, in a kind of fatalistic way.
Okay.
Because he's from a noble-ish background, not really high up, but kind of
Okay.
adjacent to high up. So I can see him kind of in a I kind of want to doom myself way,
Yeah.
kind of trying to get back at people.
And trying to
Up high?
that totally works then. Okay.
Embittered.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Now, the other thing for you is at the very beginning of Charlatan, where it says skill proficiencies, tool proficiencies, and equipment.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Now those skill proficiencies, you're going to want to check those boxes. Okay.
Okay.
So you get deception and sleight of hand. If you didn't
Um,
already,
I am turning into one sneaky motherfucker. I like that.
right? No, if you did you already have either deception or sleight of hand as skills from your class?
No.
Perfect.
I didn't.
Under tool proficiencies, so you're going to mark those. Those are going to be under go second from the bottom left side. Tool proficiencies
I got it.
and custom skills. So hit the
Yep.
plus and add in the thing.
Disguise kits. Okay.
And the attribute for both of those is dexterity.
Okay. And they're proficient, yeah, not expertise or jack of all trades.
Correct.
Okay, right. Add forger
And then
kit.
the equipment, in all honesty, a lot of that you're going to move. You're going to blow right on past a lot of this stuff.
Mhm.
But if you want, what you would do is there's a space to the right of tool proficiencies where you can mark your gold and other random equipment. And
Okay.
you can put those things in there for now.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
So now we move on to our... let me see. Do we want to keep going in that role? No. Cubit, you've been last every time. Cubit, how are you feeling?
Aw, thanks. Hello.
All right. So
I'm good.
cool. So Cubit, do you have a background in mind?
Yes.
Okay.
To ask, so I looked under noble, and there is like variant noble of being a knight.
Okay. That totally works.
Are
then.
you okay with us being variants?
Yes, I am. So, as a knight, it doesn't look like anything in particular changes. It's more just what we call it. So, your background is knight. And if you would like to include, as it suggests, a banner or other token from a noble lord or lady to whom you have given your heart.
Yes. That was actually a defining feature of why I wanted that one, because that is too precious. I needed it.
Okay. So so if you would like to add that in, and do you want to take the option there to have that person be your bond?
It's so cute. It's so cute.
Cubit, can you hear me?
Got a
I'm
pretty
dying.
girl. Yes, I have a pretty girlfriend at home, and I definitely want that to be my bond.
Okay, cool.
Oh, so cute.
That works out just fine. So, taking a look at the bonds under noble, let me see. I just want to see if there's one here that we would alter. Take a look at number 5.
Oh, wait, under bond?
Bonds for noble, number 5. And instead of sovereign, consider changing that wording to your, I don't know, lady. Does that make sense? So where it says my
Kind of thought I might go with number 4.
number 4, I am in love with the heir of a family that my family despises. Oh, so star-crossed lovers. Ooh. Okay, that works just fine.
I kind of wanted it to be maybe they don't hate her family, but that it's not supported that we're both women.
Ah, okay, that works just fine. So different quarters of the empire care more or less about it. So we can say that you come from perhaps a slightly more backwater, more conservative place.
Or even just that she was their only daughter and they wanted her to marry like some nice man to enhance their standing or whatever. It doesn't necessarily have to be.
That works too. That works just fine. However you would like to rationalize it. I really love, by the way, that you've got like a whole thought process out for this.
Yeah.
I did. I wasn't sure how
Good.
much I needed to be prepared, so I actually have like my backstory and everything.
Okay.
Yep.
Which I will absolutely want to read at some point, but for now we'll just use it to inform these, which works out just fine. So then my question for you, so let's roll personality trait, okay?
Okay. Let me.
So
Which is a 1d8.
yeah, 1d8.
Okay.
I put it in the wrong box.
Interesting.
Got a 7.
My favor, once lost, is lost forever.
It's Mr. Darcy!
I actually love that because I relate to that.
Okay.
So that'll be very
Same.
easy for me.
Same.
Okay.
Sorry. English major. I apologize.
No, you're fine. All right, so that works out just great. That works out just great. And then let's take a look. So go ahead and mark that down under your personality trait. And then, so we're in the box with the highlighted random text that I just put up there on the screen. And then let's take a look at your ideal. So that's a 1 through 6. So roll a d6.
Got a 6.
Okay. So, noble obligation. It is my duty to protect and care for the people beneath me.
Yeah. And I did already select good, so that
Yeah,
works.
so that totally works.
Just little people.
The little people.
Yeah, it might be
Those tiny peasants.
a little problematic when you describe to other people that they are in fact beneath you, but it's okay because you're going to take care of them.
You know what? You are beneath me, but I still value you for the peasants that you are.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my god.
That's amazing.
Jeez.
Service.
Okay.
I'll
Wow,
get
love
the
it.
coconuts.
Where'd you get
It's only a
coconuts?
model.
It's just a model.
Second thought, let's not go there. It's a silly place.
Yes.
Okay. And then so I already chose my bond,
Yep.
if that's good with you.
Yes,
and then
it
so
is.
I
So
will
flaw.
roll for my flaw.
Yep.
Again, man, I am rolling really high. Aw,
For
my
that.
flaw. By my words and actions, I often bring shame to my family.
Well, I feel like this
Cool.
is making a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, she's not very smart, so
You shame
Which-
on your cow.
ways probably.
Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cat.
All
You know
right.
what? I did it. I brought shame to the family cow.
Poor cow.
What did you do to the cow?
It's a family-friendly stream.
Poor
Oh
Bossy.
my.
Ooh.
Family friendly-ish. Family friendly-ish. There is, in fact, a
Ish.
mature content warning that comes up at the beginning.
Fantastic.
Oh.
All right. So we'll go to, let me see, Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo. I'm going to go for Wiley next.
It's me.
I'm saving the Moogs for last.
The paladin, the last paladin.
All right. So
I went with Outlander, being a wood elf
Outlander.
ranger,
Cool.
worshipper of the oak tree, the leaf lord.
Nice. Oh, and just to remind you, so I apologize. So Cubit, don't forget to mark your skills and such at the beginning of Noble. You still get all those. Okay.
Yes.
And let me know if any of them are double proficiency. Like if they
Actually,
are.
do you know how to do that anyway?
I know how to do that, and I can walk you through it. So if you have so the way double proficiency works is, in 5th ed D&D, you don't ever choose to put points into your skills as you have in like previous editions. What happens instead is you have a static, what's called your proficiency bonus, which just goes up every so many levels in increments. You add that proficiency bonus to any given skill roll or any given attack roll that you make. It's the same bonus that gets added to all of them. And then it's affected by which ability trait you're using for that roll. So like a dex skill, versus a strength skill, say, right? But otherwise, the proficiency bonus just always is what it is. So if you get proficiency in a skill, then you get to add your proficiency bonus to rolls made with that skill. If during character creation or some happenstance later on, you would gain proficiency in that skill a second time, you get what's called double proficiency. You add your proficiency bonus times 2 to your rolls in that skill. Okay?
Yummy.
Now, our character sheets don't offer us a simple way to do that. We have to click on the cog that's to the left of the spells tab button, and then we have to go into the guts of the HTML behind the character sheet and give you double proficiency there. So just let me know if that happens, and I can walk you through the process. It's not too bad, but it does require specific fiddling and tweaking to make it work.
Sounds good.
Okay. So, Wiley, you're going with Outlander?
Yes, sir. I most certainly am.
Cool. So, skill proficiencies, athletics, and survival, which are 2 things that as a ranger you probably already had. Although,
Actually, I chose, knowing I was going Outlander, I chose elsewhere because I knew I was getting them.
and that
I
works
think
too.
Wood Elf comes with athletics or something, so.
Yeah, so you'll want to double check that. If you end up with double proficiency, that's okay. For now, you can even just mark it in the features and traits section, and then I can just go through and correct it when I go over all the character sheets in downtime anyway.
Gotcha.
So, okay, so skill proficiencies, you get athletics and survival. 2 proficiencies, you get 1 type of musical instrument. What musical instrument are you thinking?
Yeah, I was looking through the list. I guess probably lute.
Lute works. Lute works well.
Yeah.
Especially for all those sort of like brooding times when it's like raining and you're standing up on a tall tree branch and your hair is whipping in the wind and you're just like playing your lute, all sad and stuff.
Looting.
Yeah.
That can be looting.
Like, I'm a dark poet.
Or pan flute.
Yeah, or an ocarina, your standard concert sweet potato. That is a PDQ Bach reference for any really like deep cut Dr.
I'm with you,
Demento
buddy.
nerds out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So tool proficiencies, musical instrument, language. You get an extra language, whatever you want
I
it to
took
be.
Goblin.
Goblin works. It's actually really
Yeah.
good for rangers to take the languages of their preferred enemies.
Yes.
And I will tell you that Goblin is going to come up a lot for us. There will be a lot of goblins. I'm a fan of
Then
goblins.
so shall Dead Goblin.
Yes. Be prepared for goblin spells. I'm just letting you know that now.
All right.
Equipment, staff.
So
hunting-
everyone protect their knees.
Oh, and others. I mean, goblins come up to about hip height. You know?
Have you seen how tall my tabaxi is?
Fair.
If they come up to
Origin.
about hip, then their stabbing is still maybe around our knees.
Yeah. So let's take a look.
He's 6'7".
Oh,
They won't ever
jeez.
get close enough to stab.
I love the vote of confidence.
Yeah.
Let's take
Yeah.
sorry. Let's take a look at Origin.
Yeah.
So roll a
Need a
D10.
And we got a 10. Tribal Marauder.
Interesting. So you were once a tribal marauder, and then perhaps you tired of your tribally marauding ways.
Right.
Or maybe you are still, in fact, a tribal marauder. The Empire would still hire you for this job, even if you were.
Sure.
They would send a well-appointed messenger to your tribe's village and simply say, "Yes, you there. You have been recruited. Come with us."
Very nice.
And most people know, "Yep, all right, time to go. Gotta go. Bye."
The government has called.
Now, don't
Marauding conscription.
don't forget to write your feature Wanderer in your features and traits section. You have an
Yes.
excellent memory for maps and geography, and you can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around you. In addition, you can
Thank God.
find food and fresh water for yourself and up to 5 other people each day, provided that the land offers berries, small game, water, and so forth.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's in there.
I'd like not to die of starvation. That'd be good.
And then
I can help with that.
suggested character traits or characteristics rather for you. So, think about like what your tribe is like, what your family was like, stuff like that.
Right.
Did you have a family? Were you considering vying for, tribal elder or something along those lines?
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll scratch that up this week.
Cool. And then let's take a look at your personality trait, 1d8. I'm really hoping for an 8 here. 7.
7.
Okay. I feel far more comfortable
That makes
around
sense.
animals than people.
Makes sense.
Yep, so we'll find you outside most of the time.
Fen.
What?
That's Fen.
Oh, Fen, yes.
Yeah.
D6
right,
ideal.
ideals.
So roll me a D6.
Hi, God! It's God! Hi, God!
A 2. Greater good. Which fits. I'm chaotic good.
Yeah. So greater good for the stream, it reads, it is each person's responsibility to make the most happiness for the whole tribe. I dig that. I think that works. Oh my goodness.
Bond.
Bond.
Thank you, chat.
2. An injury to the unspoiled wilderness of my home is an
Ooh.
injury to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that works. And what's going to be interesting...
God,
That
your hair
fits my
looks
deity
lovely.
big time.
It's also going to be interesting for you to determine exactly where you've decided your home is, since, well, it'll make more sense as we go.
Yeah, I think once I learn more about the setting, that'll help.
Peeing in the bushes, I
That's
would
never a
insult
good
you.
place to
Yeah.
start.
Flaw, roll me one more d6. 6. Don't expect me to save those who can't save themselves. It is nature's way that the strong thrive and the weak perish. Well, you know what? As a tribal marauder, I guess that makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
All right.
You're
Cool.
very big on Darwinism.
Yeah. Survival of the fittest.
Exactly.
Cool.
And then Moogs.
Hello.
I can't not pronounce all the O's in your name.
Good. That's the intent.
So many O's.
Correct.
I
if you did
may,
it.
I may or may not have already rolled out personality trait ideal and bond, but I don't have a flaw yet.
That is okay. We'll still read through them on the stream just so that people know.
Yes, definitely.
But what background did you choose?
I am an acolyte.
Acolyte. Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I like
So
that.
just studying. Really want to be impressed. My God, so bad.
Nice.
You went to Paladin school.
Exactly.
Paladinlicious.
Okay, so just for those on the stream, acolyte is kind of a student or a scholar. You have spent your life in the service of a temple to a specific god or pantheon of gods. You act as so in this case Kelemvor, who is a god of death. You act as an intermediary between the realm of the holy and the mortal world, perform sacred rites and offering sacrifices in order to conduct worshippers into the presence of the divine. You are not necessarily a cleric. Performing sacred rites is not the same thing as channeling divine power. Although you do channel divine power, but not in the same way. Choose a god. You've already done all that. Blah, blah, blah. So... skill proficiencies, insight and religion. Now, insight, just for those of you who maybe aren't fully aware, insight is your ability to determine the motives of people that you're talking to. So, if you're having a conversation with someone, say you're buying a used car, insight is how you determine whether they're trying to screw you over or not, aside from just the basic fact that they're talking. Make sense?
Right. Other than that, yeah.
Yeah. Bahamut instead of Tiamat, that works. I wasn't married to Tiamat. It could be Bahamut. All right, so insight and religion, do either of those cause you double proficiency, or are they singles?
They are all singles. I also picked around the background.
That works. That is a good way to do it. The double proficiency thing matters, like if there's a specific skill you're really trying to get a ton of, right? So like rogues will often pick backgrounds that allow them double proficiency in things like lock picking and investigations, stuff like that. Okay, your holy symbol, which I've forgotten for Kelemvor, and you'd think I'd remember. I want to say it's a scythe of some kind.
Scales.
Scales. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So, holy symbol, you just have one. You also have a prayer book, a prayer wheel, 5 sticks of incense, vestments, etc. So you'll want to mark those things down. You also get 2 languages. For you, I mean, common, obviously, like, you already get common, so it's 2 additional languages beyond that. So, a couple of ways to do this. You can pick the languages of, like, the other people in the party if you really want to, or you can pick the languages of bad guys you think you're more likely to meet, or being an acolyte, you could pick up a couple of just particularly obscure languages that maybe you had to read some books in those languages. Or you could say pick up, like, Celestial, for example, because maybe you read some really sacred texts. These are all potential options open to you.
Yeah, I was leaning towards Celestial and maybe Goblin because you said so.
Sure, that works just fine. That was information freely given, so it works out just fine. And yeah, Moog's Draconic works quite well. Okay,
Yeah,
feature.
Draconic, not Celestial, sorry.
Oh, Draconic, not Celestial. Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah. That can work.
Flesh cube. Disgusting.
Feature Shelter of the Faithful. As an acolyte, you command the respect of those who share your faith. You can perform the religious ceremonies of your deity. You and your adventuring companions can expect to receive free healing and care at a temple, shrine, or other established presence of your faith, though you must provide any material components. So, basically, at any church of Kelemvor, you guys can get healed for free, although you do have to pay for material costs if they're greater than, like, just basic bandages and such. And then, so you say you rolled your personality trait and ideal and bond already?
Yes.
Okay, what personality trait number did you end up with?
See, personality traits. Was it 2 or just 1? Just 1?
You only picked 1 trait.
Okay, great. Number 8, because I love that.
Nice. So I've spent so long in the temple that I have little practical experience dealing with people in the outside world. Okay. Yeah, so that works out just fine. So maybe for you, lawful good is more like a disability to have to, like, slowly work your way through. Like,
yeah, I was thinking, like,
how dare you steal that thing? Oh, but we do need it, and actually that person's evil, and we're going to go kill a bad guy. So, okay.
all of that plus side-eyeing all of you just constantly. Like,
all of the shade.
can they do that?
All right, I like that just fine. Ideal.
Aspiration.
I seek to prove myself worthy of my God's favor by matching my actions against his or her teachings. That totally works. Bond.
I went Gary Stew on this one, and I went Dead Parents. Dead Parents.
Batman.
I'm trying to find it.
Oh, number 3, sorry.
Thank you. I owe my life to the priest who took me in when my parents died. Aw, you were left on a doorstep. Perhaps you were actually supposed to have been raised by a rich uncle somewhere, but that person did not want to have anything to do with you. You may have an inheritance that you don't even know about. And then Flaw, roll a 1d6 in the chat window.
6.
All right.
Oh my god, I love this.
Once I pick a goal, I become obsessed with it to the detriment of everything else in my life.
Like finding your inheritance.
For example. I
learned.
100% dig it. Let's go ahead. 4 hour cleric. Let's go ahead and try to pick. He's a hermit. Yep, he was a hermit. So his personality trait. So hermit, for anyone who wants to follow along, is on page 134. So he's going to get the medicine and religion skills, which he already kind of had, but that's fine because I haven't actually added his kit on here. And then he gets tool proficiency herbalism kit. So I'm going to mark this stuff here. Herbalism. And I want to say that herbalism is wisdom based.
Depends what you're smoking.
Well, that's whether or not it raises your wisdom, but I'm pretty sure the kit part is also.
Not if it's oregano.
Well, true, but then you're just getting spicy. Languages, one of your choice. So he already speaks Draconic. He has to learn Common. So there we go for him. And then equipment, a scroll case. I'll add all that stuff later. Life of Seclusion. So I need to roll for him a 1d8. So / roll 1d8. 7. He was the caretaker of an ancient ruin or relic before coming here.
Zed has gone silent.
Oh,
I
have
know. I thought everyone had gone. Oh no! Wait, you're back.
Yeah, sorry.
Concentrate.
I was typing. Oops.
While he's typing and reading and such, I don't think it was mentioned, but Fanrand, and is uncanny dodging some lewd checks and being really cool. And I just wanted to say thanks, and you're cool.
2 months
Thanrand
now.
is super cool, and Thanrand.
What's a lewd check?
Haven't
I'll
quite
tell you
figured that
when
out
you're
yet.
older.
But they
please.
they keep critting, so that's nice.
Okay, so discovery. So, and for those of you who are looking at the screen, you can actually see like
Oh my!
God,
what
that's
I'm adding.
Also want to be cool? Of course you're cool. You just declare it so.
All right. Oh. Thanrand, by the way, I believe. Thanrand, correct me if I'm wrong, but he plays in the Saturday or the Friday game. The Friday game on this channel. Okay, so we now have discovery. So, suggested characteristics, personality traits. So let's find out what our cleric is like. So, we're going to roll a d8. We got a 4. So our cleric, I feel tremendous empathy for all who suffer. Oh, he's a feeling kobold.
Aww.
Aww.
Big
feelings too.
One of these kobolds.
Big feelings in a little lizard.
Yep.
And now I've just got
Lizard.
Care Bear songs running around.
Oh,
my
and
head.
that was a what's the Chris Farley reference? Thank you, Cubit. Ideal. So / roll 1d6. Another 4. So his ideal is power, solitude, and contemplation. Solitude and contemplation are paths toward mystical or magical power. And it is not that weird for him to have an evil ideal because most of his race is. And he's actually like working to move past that. And then bond. So, pro tip, by the way, that I realized I didn't tell you guys. If you have just been rolling, say, a d6 or a d8, and you want to roll another one, you click in the chat box in Roll20, push the up arrow, and it will repeat the same command. So That is a...
Oh, that's so fancy.
Yeah, right? So 5. So should my discovery come to light? Should my discovery come to light? It could bring ruin to the world. So he does not want other people to find the thing that he was guarding. Which, of course, is a little bit silly because someone had to come find him in the first place, but that is fine.
It's a tiny little lizard brain.
The penitent man kneels before God.
Oh, man.
Hide it!
And finally, our flaw. I like keeping secrets and won't share them with anyone. Oh, I don't know how I feel about that as our NPC.
Well.
It does, though. I like keeping secrets and won't
Oh, good.
share them with anyone. Please tell me more.
It's cool. I have insight.
Papa. Jaffa, Cree.
Wait, I have no insight. I believe you instantly.
There's something about Klingon with that accent that just works a little too well.
In my first year of uni, we did bunches of scenes from the Klingon Hamlet.
Oh.
I used to be able to do to be or not to be in Klingon. I cannot anymore, sadly.
Oh.
But I could.
That's awesome. And for anyone out there whose mind was just blown by the concept of Klingon Hamlet, yeah, it's a real thing. You can find most of it on YouTube.
It's really great. It's amazing.
I
love conlangs. They're amazing.
All right. So, our cleric, I mean, he's looking pretty okay. I need to put his cleric-y bits in. How are you guys feeling? Do you have your character kits added? So your skills and your... Oh, we haven't done hit points. Hey, you guys want to have some hit points?
Maybe.
I would
Yeah,
sure
that'd be
like
good.
to.
Okay.
Those are the things that stop us from dying, right?
Typically, yeah.
I'd like some of them, please.
In a manner of speaking.
Okay. So at the beginning of your... So you're going to turn back in your books to whatever the page that your class begins on. Okay? So for me, that's cleric.
Haha.
And it will say under class features, which is possibly on the second page of your class, but it will say under class features, hit points. And it will say hit dice, hit points at first level, hit points at higher levels. In your hit points maximum, which is center column, second or third from the top, depending on how you count it, you're going to put that hit points at maximum number into that box. So for my guy, because he has a 15 con, which grants him a +2, he gets 8 plus his con bonus, so he has 10 hit points to start.
Okay, and then as a fighter, I start with 10 because my hit dice is a 1d10.
Okay.
Right.
And you don't have a
Plus your
Constitution
constitution
modifier.
bonus.
Okay.
Which is a +2, so I have 12.
You have 12, yes.
Okay. Where am I putting this?
So it's a box that
sorry.
says current hit points, and then at the top inside of that box in lighter gray font, it will say hit point maximum.
Okay, I got it. Yeah.
And then let me see. So we've got that. Then proficiencies. So my guy gets light armor, medium armor, and shields. So your proficiencies are going to go under other proficiencies in languages, since they are not tool proficiencies or custom skills.
When we add the constitution, we add the one in the square box, right?
Smaller number.
Yes.
I'm just checking.
The smaller number, but in the larger box. The square box,
Yeah.
correct. Yes.
Just checking. Okay. Right. Where am I again? Okay.
Oh, good golly.
Proficiencies.
It was already explained on stream, but since Shakespeare maybe isn't aware, so your ability score is the larger number, the points that we were assigning. You know, we started around 8 to 10, and then we added our points. That's your ability score, which translates into your ability modifier, that smaller number in the larger box that you're using. And that's what you're actually going to primarily be using, like, to supplement your roles and skills.
I appreciate the heads up.
Correct.
Okay. Right.
And then, so add your armor and weapon proficiencies down at the bottom left in the other proficiencies and languages section.
It bothers me that you don't spell armor with a U.
I mean, again, you can spell it how you like.
Sorry.
I won't take points off of your exam, but
I'll stop talking about it.
you also won't get any bonus points. Okay, so for our cleric, he gets to choose 2 from history, insight, medicine, persuasion, and religion. I think he's definitely going to go... Well, he already has religion. He could get double, but let's not bother. So let's go for him. We'll say insight and medicine. No, he already has medicine. So insight and persuasion or history. Let's go history, because he really should know things and he should not be doing a lot of talking to people. He's a bit of a dweeb.
No, he's going to do all of our shopping for us.
So I'm not going to bother with adding his equipment stuff now. Spellcasting stuff I can do on my own later. So honestly, our characters should be looking pretty close right now. What major boxes are you guys currently missing that you think need to get filled out?
Attacks and spellcasting.
Equipment.
Okay. So equipment.
And I don't know what I'm doing with the pact stuff. The warlocky stuff.
Okay. Qubit, do you have any questions about yours at the moment?
I don't, actually. I just went and added my proficiencies down there. My equipment, I did add the stuff from my background as
you
well.
Should. Yes.
And then, have any questions currently? Thank you.
Cool.
Oh, okay, equipment.
Now, yeah, so you get additional starting equipment from your class. So your background gives you some starting equipment, and then your class gives you some starting equipment. And in both of those, you will get, on top of the equipment itself, you should also get some amount of liquid funding. The equipment that you can purchase begins on page... let me tell you exactly. Oh, there's pack boons. I want to bookmark that with my thumb. But the actual equipment section...
144?
Yeah, looking like. Now, you also get starting wealth by class. So if everyone will turn to page 143, please.
Ah! Okay. I'll come back to that. No, 140.
So
stupid PDF.
You're each going to roll for your class in roll 20, okay? And you can do this exact, you don't add the letters GP, but you can do 2d4 times 10. So you would / roll space, and you can hit 2d4 x 10, and it will translate that and give you the proper number. So, and that was presuming Barbarian.
Oh, okay.
Right? So Moogs, right, so as a Paladin, 5d4 times 10. So, don't put a space in between the X and the 10.
I was wondering, like, that's not right.
Yeah, no space in between X and 10, but so you got 160.
I don't know what I'm looking at.
Not a capital X, lowercase x, and / roll, not rolling. Oh no, it says rolling. Oh, I see. But yeah.
I'm a little lost. I don't know what we're doing.
Okay. So
sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
There we go.
Right.
It should be doing the math. Why is it not doing the math? /roll 2d4 times 10. Huh, it's not doing the math. I can swear it did. I am apparently wrong. That is okay. So, regardless then, Moogs, you have 160 gold to add on to whatever gold it said you already have. Wily Hobbit, you have 50 gold to add on to whatever it said you have. Cubit, you have 50 gold to add on to whatever it said you have. And Shakespeare has not rolled.
I don't know what we're doing, sorry.
No, that's okay. So you're a warlock, so we're figuring out how much gold you're going to start the game with. So as a warlock, so roll 4d4.
Okay.
So /roll space 4d4.
4d4.
Okay. So
10.
So you get to start with 100 gold.
Okay, is that added to the 15 I got for being a charlatan?
Yes.
Or something. Yeah, okay, so it's... Hey!
And I will roll for cleric for now, who's going to get 5d4 times 10 / roll 5d4. So he gets 130 gold on top
Out of curiosity,
Yeah.
relative to the economy, what is a gold piece worth?
Funny you should happen to ask that. So it depends on which part of the empire you happen to find yourself in. So, say for example, you're rolling through some tiny podunk village in the middle of nowhere. The average farmer there might earn maybe 3 gold in a year. Whereas if you're in the city, there are certain money lenders or other, say, merchants who will earn, 500 times that every couple of days, right? So it really depends where you are and what the economy is like in that specific place as to whether or not a gold has a lot of buying power or only just some.
Okay.
Unlike in, say, the Zelda games, for example, random shopkeepers in the middle of nowhere probably are just selling you whatever garbage they could find. They're not likely to sell you actual magic items, for example, or even necessarily like healing potions. Far more often they'll be like, well, I got a broken wheelbarrow. You could have that for 2 copper. Stuff like that.
This rock here.
Mm-hmm.
Like throw that.
Yeah, real pretty rock too. If you wait until the morning, the sun beams off of it and it glitters. Super pretty, super pretty. I could let that go for a silver. I could let it go for a silver.
Yeah.
I have a question.
And you gave us additional gold beyond what we rolled, correct?
That came from your background?
Gotcha.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question.
So
I think,
there are 2 questions. Let me answer. So Moogs, I'm going to answer your question first because then Shakespeare, I'm going to spend a little bit of extra time with you working on your pact and such. Okay?
That is
Are
what my
we-
question pertained to.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Are
Moogs,
we going with our starting class equipment, or are we doing the starting wealth? Because that's a lot of gold.
I want you to do both.
Okay.
Yeah. I do believe it says to do one or the other. I actually want you to do both. And that is because you have all received some amount of payment from the Empire just for accepting this job that they clearly don't think you're going to come back. Yeah.
That one.
Yes. The fuffle was that they seem not to be overly confident in your ability to make it back alive.
Well, they haven't seen me arrow yet.
Neither of you, for what it's worth. But
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
okay,
Applause.
so Warlock, for you.
Yes.
Now I
My-
believe that you had settled on a couple of possibilities for your patron and such. Is that?
I went with Hexblade.
Oh, you did go with Hexblade. Okay.
I did go with Hexblade because I got really attached to the weapon, as I think I mentioned.
Yes, right? Well,
That is a hexblade, yes.
Super cool. Okay, so for Hexblade, then, I need to open a different book that I don't actually have a physical copy of here.
I've got the Xanathar's Guide to Everything.
Okay. So then...
I love that book.
So you're going to need to be looking...
I don't have the physical books. I have PDFs.
as do many of us.
Yeah.
And Drive-Thru RPG is also particularly good for stuff like that. So for you, at first level, you get your Otherworldly Patron and the Pact Magic feature. So, you know, beyond anything else, a lot of that's not going to matter too much. So, but let's double check in Xanathar's Guide just to make sure that there isn't anything that we are missing. But chances are likely that this won't matter a whole ton at first level.
Mm-hmm.
And let me know, obviously. So, and if you're already there...
It says, I'm literally just reading from the book because I don't know what's important. First level Warlock is Expanded Spell List, Hexblade's Curse, and Hex Warrior. I'm not entirely sure what the second two are.
Okay, so Hexblade's Curse and Hex Warrior are both going to be listed in the Hexblade entry under those exact titles.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then the expanded spell list will be there as well. So when you choose your first level spells, you can pick anything that is under first level spells for Warlock in the book, in the player's handbook. And you can also consider those expanded spell list spells as being part of your potential selections as well.
Okay.
Now, as a Warlock at first level, you're only going to know 2 spells.
Yeah.
And you only get 1 spell slot. So.
And 2 cantrips, right? That's the right word?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, cantrips are going to be your primary damaging spells. They can also be your primary utility spells, but the fact of the matter is I find that the utility of most of them drops off pretty rapidly as time goes on, whereas they will be there to do consistent damage. Now, as a Warlock, you have access to what is arguably the best cantrip in the entire game, which is, and I just want to make sure that I say it correctly, so I'm just looking it up real quick.
Is it Eldritch Blast?
It is, in fact, Eldritch Blast.
Disgusting.
I could also listen to you say Eldritch Blast for quite some time.
All day long. All day long.
So Eldritch Blast is Eldritch
Say
Blast
again.
is stop
Funny
it.
story. Eldritch also means oblong. It doesn't just mean spooky. It also means oblong.
Huh.
Oblong blast.
Huh.
Somehow it loses its punch.
So what if it's an
oblong.
Eldritch?
An Eldritch.
A
It's a
spooky
spooky
oblong.
oblong. Yeah.
A spooky oblong. Yeah,
Yeah.
work.
Or an oblong spooky.
An oblioid spooky thing. An oblong something. Dos oblongos something or other. So under cantrips, Eldritch Blast is great. Out of the rest of those, it's kind of up to you. Blade Ward, I will tell you, is not that good. Chill Touch is okay.
I was looking at Toll the Dead only because I vaguely know what it is.
So Toll the Dead is one of my very favorite cantrips. It just is. I very much enjoy it. Particularly because of the flavor, because every time you cast it, it makes a bell tolling noise that everyone can hear, right? So you cast it, and everyone hears bong, and that person that you cast it on goes, oh my god, right? So freaks them out. The only other possible contender, I will say that Toll the Dead works, but you do already have a damage-based cantrip. And since you only get so many, it might be good for you to branch out a little. And so, because if you're doing range damage, you're probably going to Eldritch Blast it. There are lots of things that can affect your Eldritch Blast as a Hexblade. Yeah. Some of the things that you can do, for example, are take. What you'll get later are these. Sorry, my brain just popped, fizzled, and fried on me. what you will get later are these Eldritch invocations, and the invocations are basically like permanent spell effects or spell bonuses that you can have. And some of them
I've read through them.
Well, and some of them
I've
will
read
do
through them.
things
I'm very
like
excited.
affect the way your Eldritch Blast functions. So you could have one that says that when you hit someone with your Eldritch Blast, it knocks them, away from you by 10 feet or towards you by 10 feet, right? You can have a little bit of a scorpion get over here effect on your ranged attack, which as a melee fighter primary is actually really good for you because it can help you close the distance when otherwise you might not. So, really, ideally for you for damage, you're going to be either Eldritch Blasting or slashing, stabbing something.
Yeah.
So that being the case, then, Prestidigitation has a lot of uses. Basically, nearly everything that Gandalf does in the opening scenes of Lord of the Rings are pretty much all Prestidigitation. It's just like the basic, I can make a thing that looks magical happen. Yeah, I can. Yeah. You can prestidigitate like your clothes to be clean, or
that would be a good idea because I am playing a white cat. keeping clean.
Fur prestidigitation.
Yes.
Just clean it.
Do it.
Can we call you Snowball?
No.
Okay.
Snowball.
All right.
It's bad enough that I'm a white cat and my name is Moon.
Fair.
That was an accident.
Fair enough. So prestidigitation then would be my personal suggestion. But overall, I would say stay away from Blade Ward, Chill Touch, True Strike, or even Poison Spray. Minor Illusion has its definite uses. Mage Hand definitely has its uses. Friends definitely has its uses. Okay. So all of those are solid. And then there are, I know, additional ones in the Guide to Everything.
No, there aren't.
Okay. So, yeah. So, and I leave it up to you.
The question I wanted to ask was that my background and the Warlock class have given me 2 simple weapons. Are they separate to my Hexblade, or is my Hexblade one of...
What this means is that simple weapons is a proficiency. The fact that you got it twice doesn't really alter anything. It just means that you definitely have simple weapon proficiency. So if you want to, for example, because
it was in the list, the pack in the component pouch. And the Charlton one was in the list with the bottle of coloured ink and the set of fine clothes. Okay, so if it's in your equipment list, then what that means is that you can pick any 2 items off of the simple weapons list in the equipment section of the player's handbook. But neither of them are my Hexblade weapon.
No.
Is that separate?
Correct. And your Hexblade weapon, we may need to play around with exactly how you become proficient in that.
Fair enough.
We'll work it out. That's a conversation, I think, for downtime. For what it's worth, it's coming up on 8:47. We are planning on stopping still tonight at around 9 o'clock ish. So Shakespeare, do you think that you're basically squared away right now? Do you have any major holes now that you can see that we've gotten your pact thing figured out?
Apart from filling it in, I think I'm sorted.
Okay. And Moogs, how are you feeling right now?
I'm filling out character appearance right now. I have the rest of the equipment added. I think I'm good to go.
Okay.
Should there be anything in the inspiration bubble?
No.
Okay.
None of you have earned inspiration yet. Inspiration is something that happens as you play when you do something super cool. And
we have to impress God.
Yes. In this case, me, not the God that was here earlier. So... if you...
I'm so pleased.
Now,
that laugh is awesome.
Something else that I do want to point out is that we do have systems that exist for donations. If someone wants to tip the channel, the people in the chat are also capable of giving inspiration. So if someone tips $4 or 400 bits, then they can give a player inspiration. And inspiration, what it does is it allows you to add a 1d8 to whatever roll you're trying to make. So, like, I would have you roll a d20 to figure out the, a particular skill roll or something like that. And then if you wanted, and you had inspiration, you could spend your inspiration and it would give you that thing.
Do you spend that at the time you make the initial roll, or do you get to see your roll and decide then to spend it?
I'm pretty sure you get to see your roll first.
Nice,
Yeah.
because that's what makes it inspiring.
Yeah.
So real quick, Cubit, do you have any major questions about your character sheet? Is it looking pretty full right now?
It is. Right now, I am just researching the weapons and how I fill out like the attack little section of my my sheet.
So do we want to go through and fill out one attack right now, just sort of as a group, just so that you can see how it works on the Roll20 sheet?
Okay.
If you wouldn't mind.
No, that's fine. So, and for those of you who are following in the stream, so I'm just going to call it a dagger. So for me, a dagger is strength, is dex, because it's a finesse weapon. Okay. But if you're, say, adding a weapon that is strength, then you would use that. If you're adding a cantrip, because you can add your cantrips to this attack thing,
Okay.
then you would add whatever your casting ability is. So for
Charisma.
Shakespeare, that would be charisma. For my guy, the cleric, or I believe also for the paladin, that would be wisdom. Okay. Interesting that we don't have an intelligence caster. I think that's funny.
We're all dumb as shit.
Yeah, I don't think we have anyone who's
Really
a real
accurate.
bright bulb in this party, actually, which is fine.
I've got a 12 intelligence, but that's it.
11.
Yeah.
My modifier is -1.
Fabulous.
That's awesome. We got
I
a lot
hope
of...
we put lots of puzzles in these dungeons
My
because
strength
we'll all
is
die.
a 10. My strength is a 10. I am a weak motherfucker.
So what I'm really enjoying about this whole concept then is because we do have a couple of fairly wise characters. So like we've got some street smarts, we have some world experience. We just
It's a miracle we're not dead yet.
Yeah, we have trouble like
Still
following
9 minutes.
like instructional manuals. Okay, so and I mean if we end a few minutes earlier, a few minutes late, I'm not bugged either way. We don't have anyone coming up after us. So charisma. So for the dagger, it's dex. So I put in dex. Range for a dagger is nothing. I mean, it has a range because it can be a thrown weapon, but I never use it that way because I don't like having to buy more daggers. Proficient, if you are proficient. If you are not proficient in that class of weapon, then say no. I think all of us are proficient in simple weapons, I'm pretty sure. And then when you are done with it, I apologize. Under damage, you type in the damage. So it's a dagger, so it's 1d6 plus, in this case again, dex. And then if it were enchanted, you would add in the additional plus where it currently says +0. But it is not enchanted, so it doesn't matter. And then when you're done with it, you click the cog again, and now you have an attack roll in the character sheet. And then all you have to do from there is, well, I'm rolling with advantage by accident, which I will need to get rid of. And I will explain advantage and how that all functions more in depth later. But the basic is that now all I have to do is I click on the attack in that box, and it automatically rolls the attack for me. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to put in Eldritch Blast, and I don't think I'm doing it right.
So for Eldritch Blast, so you click the plus under name, you're going to type helps if I can spell. Eldritch Blast.
Yeah,
And then
I've got
and then attack like
is charisma.
Yep, so charisma, and then
Yeah.
you're not going to add an additional bonus there, but you are proficient because it's a spell that you're using.
Yeah.
Okay. And
The
then
range is 120 feet.
Okay, 120 feet. Magic bonus, you're not going to put anything because it's not a magic item in any way. And then crit range is going to stay 20.
Okay.
Under damage, the damage on Eldritch Blast is 1d10.
And it's force.
Which
type.
Yeah, so under type you can write force, and then it's 1d10 plus nothing. So you see how there's a dash at the bottom?
Hold on.
So damage.
I've got 1d10 plus.
It might say
dash.
STR. Yeah, there you go. So now it's a dash. So if it's once you've got those things, then go down to see where it says saving throw.
Yep. Do I tick that box?
Don't tick that box.
Okay.
That box will get used for, say you had taken Toll the Dead. Toll the Dead does have a saving throw, and that is where you would put that in. But since you
it's a wisdom saving throw.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So you click the cog again, and now it's added. Do you see how it's just there? And then
yes.
So I clicked mine. Can I see you click yours?
I have clicked mine. So now it says Eldritch Blast +5 and then 1d10 force. Is that right? Is that what it should say?
Yeah, but it's not showing up. Click the... Have you minimized the... So did you click the little gear wheel thing?
Yeah.
So it's back small again?
Yep.
Why am I not seeing you show up in the...
Now click Eldritch Blast, see what you get.
Huh. Okay, well, we may have found something... I may have screwed up your permissions. Let me take a look at your character sheet, see if I did something wrong. Findalar... No, you are last new moon of winter.
Yeah.
Okay, character sheet...
Or just moon, because that's a mouthful.
Yes. Okay, so it looks like you have that in there correctly. So when I click it... Okay, when I click on your sheet, it works.
Why? Why is it always me?
At the bottom, where it says as, what does it currently say next to your name? Or like next to as, like under the text box?
It says, it says as Shakespeare.
That actually shouldn't change anything. But go ahead and switch it over to your character's name.
Oh, okay.
Like it should be an option to do that.
Yep, it's now as last new moon of winter.
Okay, and go ahead and try. Clicking Eldritch Blast again.
Okay. Nope, it just gets smaller again.
Where are you clicking? In the box.
I'm clicking on the cog. I'm clicking on the cog to open.
Okay, I see, and I just watched you do it. So don't click the cog. Click on the literal text under name. Click on the words Eldritch Blast.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Okay, I was clicking on the cog the whole time. Sorry.
Ooh, nice roll. Ouch.
Oh, you're welcome, Wiley. Awesome. Okay.
That's a good one.
So it looks like we've got basically everything figured out, I think. And
I have one more question.
Yes,
Sorry.
Yes. No, you're fine. You're fine.
In my equipment that was given to me, I picked the Scholar's Pack. Do I put everything that's in the pack into my items individually?
Yes, you do.
Or do I just... Okay.
Yes,
I will do that later.
Yeah, exactly. That's a downtime thing. And you guys can access this game and your characters in it whenever. You don't have to do this stuff right now. I don't even have to be here for it. You can do that on your own time when you feel like. And that is perfectly fine by me. So what I'm going to say for now is, I'm going to sort of cut it. Let me ask, are you guys feeling all right about your characters?
Oh, yeah.
I'm so excited.
Very good. I'm pumped. Me
Okay.
too.
I got this. I'm
Awesome.
ready to smash. Give it
So,
smash.
so
I would
next,
shout louder, but it's 2 a.m.
so next Monday, same bat time, same bat channel. We are going to start with session 1. So we're going to get into the role play. We're going to get into the actual story. And I can basically guarantee you that there will be some dead goblins by the end of that session. So, hooray! So, for those of you guys who have stuck with us on the stream, thank you very much. Really means a lot, especially this being all of our first time trying to do all this stuff. It honestly, I think it came together quite well in the end. I'm very, very happy with this. So, woohoo!
Hey.
Yeah, check us out next Monday. Check out all of the other great games on the Welcome to the Party channel.
Yes, do that.
We've got some
Great channel.
Yeah.
pretty fantastic stuff, I think, going on. If you just take a look at the schedule, which should be, I believe, down below. Yep, you can click on the schedule. Or you can join us in Discord, which is how we found, I think, all of these lovely people.
And me.
Yeah.
I think you found me on Twitter, possibly.
That's the joke I was
That-
going to make.
And that may be as well. So, once again, thank you very much.
I was on the Twitter sphere.
Me too.
Have a good night, guys.
See y'all.